All right, guys, how are we doing today? Steve Bingleco, Final Web Design. Today, I want to talk about the absolute biggest mistake I've made as a business owner and how you can help prevent yourself from those same issues. So, let's get into it. Final Web Design, this is Steve. All right, so as everybody knows, when you're starting a business, things are difficult. There's a lot to learn, there's a lot of information to understand the incorporation process, the billing accounting process, how to pay yourself, how to work with customers, how to project management. The list goes on and on. So, I want to talk about the absolute biggest mistake I have ever made as a business owner, and that was when I started the first few years not addressing my taxes properly. Now, this might seem like, oh, well, when you start a business, you don't really have to, worry about no, you have to worry about taxes. And it's going to haunt you down the road the longer you avoid dealing with your tax issues. Now, taxes in the United States, it very varies depending on every state. However, you still have the federal taxes. And the first probably 4 to even 5 years, our accounting was just money in, money out. I mean, there was no system in place. Yeah, we had the bank statements, what money was coming in and out of the bank and such, but there was no QuickBooks, there was no Wave, there was no accounting type software. So what ended up happening is a few years down the road, of course, I had to start addressing this as we were making more money. Got a private accountant. She came in, she did some accounting for a couple of weeks, gave me all the papers. Those papers eventually went off to another company, which I hired out of Chicago, who managed all of our tax filings for all those years that I hadn't paid. And now I had to pay them, gosh, I think it was like $10,000 just to try to catch up on all these taxes. And what had happened is because as a corporation I hadn't been filing, not only now did I owe taxes, but I owed fees. I owed obviously the company to pay the taxes, and it was a nightmare. I'm not talking a couple $100s here. I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars. And I laugh at it now, but at the time, I mean, it was almost enough to break the business because it was a ton of money. So what had happened also is we were taking a lot of money like for Google ads, Meta at the time, just Facebook marketing, things like that. And a lot of that money wasn't going directly to us. So maybe the numbers in the accounting looked a little bit bigger, but we hadn't accounted for things properly. So that money looked like it was going to me as an individual. And again, the fees were incredible as a corporation for not filing for a few years. So I just want to address that if you are a business owner, taxes are vitally important. Do not let the tax system go. And I get it, we were young. I didn't have the time, I didn't have the money, I didn't have the experience to know how to properly deal with the tax system in the US. It is very complicated. It's complicated on a personal level, but then when you get into an incorporation or an LLC level, it's even more complicated. And when I did get the tax filings back, I think it was something like 40,000. I mean, this is enough to put a down payment on a house in back taxes and fees and just information that just hadn't been done properly. And this was the single most difficult situation I've dealt with as a business owner. The other one was probably a lawsuit, but that's another story. But the tax situation was a big deal, and I have just recently got all of this cleaned up and in good standings with the IRS. And I'm not trying to run from the money I owe the IRS. The government has provided me a lot of decent things. No, I don't like how the government spends their money, but at the end of the day, if I owe them, I'm going to pay them. I'm not trying to run. It was just I didn't have the knowledge, I didn't have the skills, I didn't have the income or the capital to properly address taxes. So all I can say is if you are a business owner, day one, think about how you're going to monitor your taxes. Have some type of accounting software, have some type of company that's going to file your taxes, and have a good idea of how the US tax system works. You don't have to know everything, you learn more over time, but you need to learn something. And with that being said, once you learn the tax system, you can actually use it to your benefit as a business because you can deduct everything that you're using for the company, these computers, these cell phones, these speakers, these monitors, all this equipment being used to make these videos, to make our websites, to do our digital marketing can be deducted properly if you know what you're doing, and you actually will end up paying quite a bit less than as a W 2 employee. However, if you're not on top of it day one, you're going to get behind, you're going to owe fees, you're going to have back taxes. It's a nightmare. You don't want to be in trouble with Uncle Sam or the IRS. So, with that being said, guys, that's my worst situation as a business owner. Got myself into that. I was young, I was dumb. I got it cleaned up, and I was never trying to you know, not trying to take care of things properly. It's just a difficult situation to be working with. So with that said, guys, I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions about your business, growing it, let us know. That's what we're here for, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.